Hey, everybody. It's your lovely Lotus Blossom Lizzie. How is everyone doing today? I hope you all are doing great. I'm doing okay as well. And today I'm going to continue on with these tags that I lazily did yesterday or started on, but I did a bit off camera and I'll show you all what I did as well. So I always like to start with a little bit of housekeeping before we get started, and that's to invite those who love junk journaling stuff like we do, me and my junk journaling buddies here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button, and then also give this video a thumbs up if you're watching. It helps out the channel. It's a great way to show your support, to give it a thumbs up, and I would really appreciate it as well. And also, I also wanted to mention that for if you are in the chat, I know people like to talk back and forth in the chat. This is kind of a tip, and you can use this on anybody's live stream as well. When you're chatting with someone else, if you put in the @ sign and you start typing their name will pop up, and then you just hit enter. And then go ahead and type them a message. It still shows in the chat, but for them, it's going to be highlighted, so they'll know that is for them. So I hope that makes sense. And I just wanted to just kind of mention that. I don't think a lot of people know that little tidbit. Hi, Penny. Thanks for coming on. Also, for those of you coming on the replay, understand that this is being recorded live, so I'm going to be chit-chatting with my junk journal buddies as well. So I may stop and it looks like I'm not moving. That's because I'm concentrating on the chat. I'm trying to read the chat as well. Hello, Ishmael. All right, so I got my little box of stuff like I always do. I try to put everything in the box that I'm going to use, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. I can go ahead and put my 4 eyes on. And I just put this up here to remind me to tell you that if you are a super fan over at Patreon, the Super Fan Plus, you actually can download a copy of these cards that I'm going to be using today. You can also get the cards over at pleasantcreations.com, and I'm still loading up the cards. I think I have just this set up right now, which is some Victorian ladies, and so you can go over there and you can check those out as well. And then I have some more that I'll be posting within the next few days. So, and this download will be over on Patreon within the next few days as well, because I just been like crazy busy lately. Okay, so I got my sewing machine out because I know I'm going to do a lot of sewing. And what I did off CamiCam was I went around each of my pieces. I finished ripping my paper, which is pages from a book, so I can have text for a background. And I put like vintage photo around the edges. I put vintage photo around everything, including the cards themselves. And now I'm ready to sew and layer, and I got my little vintage vocabulary letters out too, and these are up in the shop also. So I'm probably going to be changing thread throughout this, because I may use like maybe 1 or 2 other types of thread. I'm not sure actually what I can do before I get started, so I can only have to change my bobbin once is to see what I'm going to use, because I think what I want to do is I just put the thread in here for now, but I have some neutral types of threads that I'm going to be using. So this is just like a beige color. I'm going to use that. And I think I'm going to use pink also. And I have like a green color here. And it's kind of a neutral color too. I love this color actually. I've been using it for everything, so I wouldn't be surprised if the bobbin ran out. Okay, so I'm going to kind of split these up as to how I'm going to use them. So I'm going to put green. I'm going to use the green on that. I think I'm going to try the pink on this one and the beige on that. And this one, we're going to go beige. This one, we're going to go green. And I think beige, pink, I'm gonna try pink on there. I'm gonna try pink. I'm just getting wacky with the colors here, and I think beige on that one. Okay, so we'll put these over to the side. So how are you all doing today? I hope you're doing great. I'm doing fantastic myself. Let me bring this down in the delicate ecosystem that is my desk here, so y'all can see what I'm gonna try to get close as I can. I know I've been asked to do like a tutorial on the sewing, but I'm gonna be honest with you, there's just not a lot that I do with the sewing. But I'll show you what I'm doing for now, and if I can put together a tutorial, I will. So I'm going to actually sew these elements kind of separate because I don't want to go through the actual tag itself, because I'm saving that for a journaling opportunity on the back. I know that looks kind of weird because it's close, but so I'm gonna sew through each one of these elements, and it's gonna be, I don't even have to go through the whole thing because there's only part that you're going to see. Maybe let's go do it this way. So even though this machine doesn't have like a free-form arm on it, I'm gonna just try to wiggle it around. I'm using a straight stitch, and I'm just gonna try to just go slow if I can, and kind of haphazardly just go through here. I know it's hard to see, but it's like a really like wonky stitch. Alright, let me get my scissors out of my box. Alright, what kind of projects are you all working on today? I'm probably starting faster than my normal hangout group gets here a little bit later after I start, but you know, I got plenty to see because I have a lot to sew. Okay, I'm gonna sew around this tag also, and also I rounded the corners on the tag, which I didn't do on the other ones. And I'm just going to use a straight stitch on this one and do my little wonkiness again, because really all the stitch is doing is like holding the papers together, because I have the age paper on the back, and this is cardstock that I'm using. If you didn't see yesterday's video, it's up for replay, so you can see that. And we started these tags out yesterday, and we cut the cardstock and we glued on some aged paper. All right, so you can see that's what it looks like. And I just, like I said, kind of haphazardly just went around. I probably need to like fix the tension. See, I don't even know how to do the tension. I got to practice on that. So this is going to go on here, and then let's do the card next. And again, I'm just using a straight stitch. I'm not using the zigzag today, because I always use the zigzag. So I wanted to try to do something a little bit different, but there's not too much different I could do with this machine because it doesn't have a lot of fancy stitches on it. But it does good for, I mean, I can still do what I need to do with it. So it's perfect. All right, and then I also want to go around my little vocabulary card here with a stitch, and doing the same thing, not worrying about being straight with my stitches. I think that adds some beauty to everything that you stitch as well, when you're not like focusing on perfection. All right, so you can see that's what it looks like there. Now I'm going to put these together so you can see how I put it together here. All right, so I'm going to use a couple of things of adhesive, a couple of ways to adhere things. Let's see. Let me get my glue, and I need just a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to glue my page down, my little broken page. I think one reason why things haven't been sticking down really well for me when I use this glue is because I'm not using enough. So I tried to pile it on this time. Okay. And then for this part here, since it's, I mean, it is cardstock, but there's a lot going on behind here, so I'm gonna use some double stick tape to tape this on, and the double stick tape is pretty strong. I like double stick tape. When I first started doing junk journaling, that's all I used was double stick tape. I was a crazy double stick tape person. I'll put like 3 pieces on here. I like to use a lot because I want to make sure, because these are kind of going to be like floating tags. So they could be, you know, in and out of pockets and all kinds of stuff. And this will prevent them from things from falling off the show. And I always like to rub my adhesive or my tapes in to make sure they're sticking to whatever I want to put them on. I'm just using my Cricut weeding tool to take these off because it's just easier on the nails and it's faster. All right, so let's lay this down here. So one thing I noticed with using the straight stitch, even though it's kind of a beautiful stitch around, is that it doesn't have like, it doesn't stand out as much as the zigzag stitch it does, but I'm okay with that. And I'm gonna also go ahead and use the double stick on the back of this as well, because this is like technically the 3rd layer on this piece. And what I decided to do, I'm not going to put a hole up here, but I think I'm going to add some fabric, but not today though. I'll add the fabric on another time because I don't have anything out, or some lace or something. I think that would be perfect, because then I could kind of match it to whatever layout that I have as well. I felt like today was like a slow day for me. Even though I had things planned out in my planner of things to do, I still had some big tasks that I wanted to get done today, and I didn't even get a chance to touch them. Okay, so that's really pretty. I like the way that came out. Okay, so let's do the next one. So it helps that I did all of this ahead of time. So what you could do is, like with your vintage letters, you can print them and cut them, and you can put your vintage photo around, and you can do that while you're watching TV, mindless crafts. And then your playing cards, you can do the same thing. I rounded the corners with these. This is just actually on cardstock, and I put vintage photo around those. Same thing with the papers, and same thing with this. So each piece, you could kind of build the pieces together and just go around everything kind of separately. So I could have did like the sewing too. Went around everything with the sewing. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this. Let's bring you all back in so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just moving this around. So if you do have a machine that does the free form, it'll be easier to do this. I do need to figure out how to do the tension. I think my stitches will come out a lot better. All right. So that's what that looks like. You can see part of it anyway. You'll get to see the whole thing. So I'm going to go around each of these pieces. I have to be careful with the text pages, because, you know, this isn't delicate, but it still will rip. So I'm trying not to rip it. All right, now I'm going to go around the card. Which is a little bit sturdier. Go around the vocabulary words as well. I have to lift up the arm a little bit because it's kind of a tight turn. And I'm not doing any back stitching on these, since it's going to be glued down anyway. No big deal. All right, so now we're going to get to gluing these. All right, we're going to use our glue stick on this one, on this piece, because it's kind of thin, so I don't want to use the double stick tape on it. I could, but I think the glue stick will be quite sufficient. All right, I just wanted every piece to have a spot of sewing because I like that look. Y'all give this video a thumbs up if you like that sewing look. All right, so I'm gonna do some double stick tape on the back of these. I'm glad I was able to do my crafting. I like doing these live streams because I feel like it's a good time to relax too. I'm productive, and it's a good time to kind of relax and just chill. Take your time and do some stuff, especially when you're just talking to friends. People that like the same kind of stuff that you like. That's kind of important. Because life is no fun if you can't share it with some friends. All right. I love using my weeding tool. I think I bent the end of it though. I don't know what I was doing. I need to unbend it. Still works for this which is not its intended use, but you know, a woman's got to do what a woman's got to do. And now I'm going to try to do something a little bit different on this card. Make sure that's down. And I'm going to put the vintage at the top instead of at the bottom. I think I like that. Me and Slim, we were going to go to the library today, but we didn't get a chance to. I had to give my car up today. My brother's car broke down, so I gave it to him so he could go to work. It's good to have family close by. They can help you when you need some help. So me and Slim were stranded today, just for a little while. Still got to go to the post office and drop off my orders, because I like to get those out every day. All right, I'm going to put vintage at the top. One thing about this double stick tape though, once you put it down, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's down. All right, I think that's good to go. All right, so that's our next one. So let's put that aside. I think those are going to be really nice. I don't know if I'm going to put a grommet in there or if I want to use the lace. I think I want to use the lace because I haven't really done that type of like a tab at the top. Hey, Rachel. How are you doing today, darlings? We are sewing. Y'all know I needed to get my sewing fix on. I didn't sew yesterday. I haven't sewn for quite a few days, so getting my sewing fix on now. I'm very happy. Nice relaxing sewing fix. I like stitching like this too because I don't have to worry about being perfect. Sometimes being perfect can really slow you down. But I still get slowed down anyway. Alright. And next. Once you have all the pieces to this goes pretty quick too. Alright. Go around the whole thing. I was just going to go around half of it, but... Ooh. Almost made a mess here. Since I don't have like that freeform thing going, you can't really pick up the arm and keep sewing. It doesn't really work that way. I tried it, it didn't work. Didn't work for me. Alright. Did y'all go over to Livy's channel yesterday and check her out? I checked out some of her videos. I don't think I left any comments though. I might have commented on one. I have to get back to doing my comments. I always say I'm a habitual commenter, but I haven't been lately. It kind of depends on how I'm watching. Because if I am watching, probably if I'm watching like on my cell phone, which I don't watch a lot of videos on my cell phone, but if I'm watching on my cell phone, I'm probably not going to comment because it's just harder to do on the phone. Or if I'm laying in the bed and I'm winding down for the evening and getting ready to go to sleep, because lots of times YouTube is watching me, when I go to sleep, I'm probably not going to comment then either. But otherwise, if I'm sitting at my desktop, then I usually comment. All right. Okay. I do like leaving a little bit of stringage sticking out. It adds to that nice homey handmade feel. Okay, so let's glue these together. I guess I could do the sewing and then glue things together, but you know, she's just taking it easy today. Take it easy. Take it easy. The Eagles. Y'all, I listen to such an eclectic mix of music. Y'all have no idea. I love the Eagles. Sometimes I'll just put them on YouTube and let them play. It's a lot of fun. I do my sing-alongs. It's like karaoke, but nobody's here to listen but me. That way I don't have to hurt anybody's ears. Although I always say people that sing are happy people, so I don't mind listening to people sing. Even if they're bad singers. I know some people are probably turning their nose up to that, but even if they're bad singers, it just, to me, they're like happy and they're having a good time. I remember one time during my clubbing days, I remember I went to the club one time. I used to always dance, but that night I didn't really dance because I wasn't with my friends and stuff. I was bored and didn't have anything to do. And so I went and I found a friend. I was like, hey, let's go to the club. It was the guy that I worked with, and we hated each other. But man, we had a good time that night because we went out dancing. We just went to a few different clubs and we just danced. That was it. And then when we got back to work, then we still fought like cats and dogs, but we had a good time that night. And I remember going to one of the clubs, and there was this little Filipino lady and this tall white guy, and man, they were just like cutting the rug. They were having a good time dancing, but they were terrible dancers. They were terrible dancers, but they were having such a good time. I just enjoyed watching them, and I always remember that. And that was like years and years ago, but that was like a happy memory, just watching them dance. And they don't even know. They don't even know how they touched my life with their happy dancing. They were having a good time. They didn't care what people said. They were all over that floor too. Couldn't nobody else dance up there with them. They were like the only ones on the dance floor. It was one of those nights where the club it wasn't popping that night, but the people that were there, they were enjoying. They were enjoying. All right, empower. Let's put this at the top. I'm going to put this one here. Bring it down just a little bit. Kind of testing where I'm putting elements on here, but I like it. So that's that one. Let's see. Move this over a little bit so you can see that one. Next. Okay, so now I'm going to change. Let's just move this out the way real quick. I'm going to change the threads in here. Oh, you know what? I don't even have this screen correct. All right, there we go. That's better. Have like the black edges on here. That doesn't work. This bobbin is probably almost out. I need to clean inside here. It's like super dusty too. Like, where'd that string come from? Stuff just coming out of nowhere. All right. Y'all know what I do? Is because I get tired of trying to wind these little bobbins, so I just put them back on the bobbin thing and wind it that way. All right, let's see here. What do we have? Put you back in here, and I'm going to take you out. It's a nice and peaceful evening. All right, this should just take me a second to put on, so bear with me. Bear with me. Y'all, I like when I get the comments when people say, you know, I was just watching and I was just doing my crafting and listening to your voice. And I was like, that makes me happy. Because even though sometimes people watch on the replay, I still feel like they're with me. All right, let's see. Yay. I got it on the first try. I almost pulled it back out. All right, get this guy back in. It's very quiet in here. Slim has the TV down. He's usually watching his Disney Channel. Okay. All right, I think we're back in business. Back in business. Until we have to change again. All right, so let's get our next ones here. And we'll bring you down so y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm not going over the edge like I've been doing. All right, we're just using a straight stitch. I like this paper. This is from that Simple Story pad, I think, that I've been hoarding for some reason. Stop hoarding my stuff. Start just using it. Hoarding gets you nowhere. What if I die tomorrow and I have hoarded all this stuff? Who's going to use this stuff? I wouldn't even have a chance to enjoy it. And that's just not right. In this case, it's not so much the pattern of the stitching, it's just that it's stitched. Not really worried about the pattern of the stitching. It's just the stitching itself. Gives it that nice feel. So what projects are you all working on today? Are you working on a project 20? For those of you that came on and you have no idea what the project 20 is, that's where we attempt to do 20 pieces of ephemera a day, so that when we're doing our journals, we can just take our ephemera out that's already made and put in our books, and then we don't have to worry about it. And it helps out a bunch. All right. So we got all of these pieces for this tag. So let's get our glue back here. I might use some of these tags in my journals. In my actual journals, not the ones I sell. So I like them. They're a great journaling opportunity. On the back of them. I know y'all saying that's a lot of glue. It's because I want this to stick down like nobody's business. Nobody's business. Nobody's beeswax. All right. We're going to get our double stick. And I'm really not worried about running out of this. I have a lot extra because I haven't hardly used any in a while. Because like I said in the beginning, I used to use double stick tape on everything. So I was like really stockpiling for a while. But I haven't really been using it. I've been using more glues than anything else, but I don't feel like messing with the glues. Sometimes you're in a glue mood and sometimes you're not. And this is I'm not in a glue mood kind of time. So we're just gonna take our time and use our double stick tape. I have a tape runner, but I kind of feel like the tape runner, like the refills, they feel expensive to me. I don't know about you all. Do you have tape runners, and do you feel like the refills are expensive, or do you feel like you get your money's worth? I buy like some small tape runners, but oh, wait a minute, I don't want to use that one yet. I just don't feel like I get my money's worth out of tape runner. I had like a recollection one, so that could be it. So Penny says she's practicing on sewing on tags. Oh, right on. See? Me and you. We're both working on them. I would have just sewed everything directly to the tag, but then what happens is you get lots of lumps and bumps on the back, and I want to be able, someone to be able to write on the back. So I decided to do it this way. Glue things on instead, or tape things on. The paper to show a little bit. There we go. Kind of different. Okay, oh, so that's that one. It's very pretty. I like these cards a lot. Okay, next. All right, let's go back down. I'm trying not to have this laying on top of the actual machine, because I've done that before. And then when I sew, everything shakes. So we don't want to do that. I got my string tried to jump. It tried to jump ship and get away, but I caught it. You shan't get away from me. A little doggy card. Looks like a little Yorkie. I got this all mixed up on the back, but that's okay. Because you're only going to see the front. Not going to see the back. I did some wacky stitching on this one. Very wacky indeed. All right, let's do paper next. I don't know why, but sometimes, I always say this, sometimes I feel rushed, but I don't feel rushed today. It's a very calm day. It's not even raining outside. But man, is it hot. It might have hit 100 today. I went outside with Slim for like 2 seconds. I was like, let's get back in the house before we die out here. We baked to death. Hey, Brenda. How you doing today, Brenda? Talking about baking outside in the sun. It's so hot here, you could really fry an egg on the ground. I should try it one day and see what happens. I don't know if I want to waste my food like that, though. But it would be interesting. Maybe if I have like a bad egg or something, I might try it. See if I can fry some bacon on the ground. Might be hot enough. All right, let's put this one together. You don't try any of the tape runners. I had a small one up here. I got a little small tape runner. They got one. They came like in a pack of 6. I like these. I'm pretty sure you don't get your money's worth with these either, though, for real. So I don't know. I like the ease of using them, and things stick very well, but I don't know. Tape runners just don't seem like you get your money's worth. Glue stick now. That's another story. I feel like I get my money's worth with a glue stick. Because I can use a glue stick for a really long time before I have to get another one out. And it sticks too. And that one is nice and juicy. Despite the fact that I left it open the other day. I had to cut some of it off. And it came back to life. It probably takes me just as long to put this tape on the back of here as it would if I used like some glue, but you know. You win some, you lose some. Oh, the humidity there is high. The humidity is high here as well. Crazy, crazy hot. That's what makes it feel hotter than it really is. Thank you, Lisa. Welcome to the live stream. How are you doing today, Miss Lisa? Are you working on some tags as well, or what kind of project are you working on? All right. Yep, I went and checked out Livy's channel. She has like a lot of things that I would like to try. Keep doing this first, but I want to do this one first. These tags are very different for me. For a while, wasn't really even doing any tags. I don't know why. Now I have plenty. I still have to finish my fabric tags. I have a lot of fabric tags. that need to be worked on as well. I should just make this tag week. You know how they have like Shark Week? This will be tag week. But I know there's a lot that people would like to see. Oh, almost lost this to the sewing machine. Just trying to make sure my tape is not hanging over the side. I'll put you down here by the little doggy. Namaste. There we go. Ta-ta. Y'all know I didn't really think much. Y'all saw when I was putting these tags together. I didn't really think much as to what goes with what. Are you just doing supper? You know, I usually fix dinner like after I get done. Oh, this one doesn't have paper on the back. After I get done with doing this, but I have some more here. Maybe I'll just change the color since I already got this. I'll just cut this one. But since I have Slim here with me, you know, Slim's got to eat a little bit earlier than that. You know, I could feed myself any kind of time, any kind of way or any kind of time when I'm by myself. But, you know, when there's kids in the house, I don't like for them to be waiting to eat. I got this close. I glued those really close together. So this is what I did yesterday. I cut the tags and then I glued them onto some aged paper. I forgot that I had these over there. And then they were ready to work on. Gotta keep that. Alright, so just cut a little bit more of this off. Alright, that's what it looks like on the back. And I'm going to round the corners at the bottom. I'm using a 1/2 inch here with my We Are Memory Keepers corner thumper. And I'm also going to go around the edges with some vintage photo. Not too much. We don't want to grunge it up too much. Just enough. Because once I put the other grungy elements on, it's going to look nice and old and beautiful. You know what I didn't do? I'll just do that after I get finished. Is grunge up the back edges as well. That gives me an idea. You know how it is when you're like working on stuff. It's like, oh, I can do this. I can do that. You can just go on and on and on. All right, back to sewing. I had to backtrack a little bit. Bring this back down so y'all can see. I hope I'm not making y'all dizzy when I do that. I don't even try to do it slowly. I like the way that looks. Can y'all see that? How it's just kind of like a crazy kind of stitch. I like that crazy kind of stitching. Okay. Almost had a jumper again. My thread is trying to do suicide. It's trying to commit suicide. I'm not letting it go. I can't really move this around in a freeform way, so I'm just stitching around it real quick. So it'll have some stitching on it. Even this little piece is a little difficult to move around in a freeform way because it's kind of short. But still came out good though. And my Victorian playing card. Oh, yeah. I think you all have like the same kind of weather that we have. Or we have the same kind of weather you guys have. Oh, there's a gnat in here. I got all these lights at my desk, so of course, Mr. Gnat is attracted to my desk. So y'all might see me murder a being. He gets in my face again. He's a goner. I've been to Houston in Texas, and I came in the summertime, and yeah, it was quite the same weather as it is here. Okay. Maybe, well, I can't even say maybe muggier, because, you know, this is a peninsula as well. We're surrounded by water, so you have to expect, if you live here, that the humidity is going to be crazy. So I guess the same thing in Texas, because they're right off the water, and Louisiana. So this one, I think I'm going to put this one at the top too, because I'm liking that topness. All right, so now we're going to put down our double stick tape, if I can get it out. And put it on the back of this one too. I love these vocabulary cards. They just kind of like, they add some very nice lists. Hey, Paula. How are you doing today? You know, you're never late here. And of course, yes, you can watch on the replay as well. I'll do a little bit of a recap though too on these. I started on these yesterday. I'm always trying to figure out ways to use playing cards, because I have like a quadzillion of them. So I'm actually destashing a bit and selling them over on the Etsy shop. But of course, I'm going to use some for myself. You know what? I've been like all around the world and in different places. Like, you just can't get away from the weather. It's like either it's too cold, or it's too hot, or it's too muggy, or it's too dry. And there's tornadoes, there are hurricanes, there's earthquakes. You know, I've never been in a tornado, but I have been in earthquakes before. Okay, we'll put you down here. I like it down here in Florida. I originally moved down here to Florida because I like the winter times here. The winter times were very mild. Of course, it wasn't hot. It was very nice. You could wear a jacket and stuff. But now, with our little global warming thing, that kind of messed my winters up, because it's just hotter down here all year round. It's not hot in the winter time, but it's not as cool as one would like. We get like to the 70s now, and it'll drop down to like the 40s for a day, and then it'll go back up, and then drops and goes back up. It's ridiculous. All right, so that's what that one looks like. Yeah, it has been 10 years since Michael Jackson died. I heard it on the radio when I was in the car when I went to pick my brother up. So Paula said that she's heard. Oh, you heard me say that I use glue or tape. Is basically depends on your mood. Yeah, it depends on my mood. Which one do I think holds the best? It depends on the paper, to be honest with you. because like I'm using like the glue stick on this paper because it's like thin. It's not really going on any fabric or anything. So I think the glue stick is just like perfect for it. And then the other ones I'm using the double-sided tape. That double-sided tape is really strong. And since those pieces are kind of lifted up off the paper, I'm doing a bit of layering here. I thought it would be good to use those, but regular glue like Aleene's tacky glue, that would be good for this project too. I'm just in the mood to use the double stick tape. So that's what I'm using instead of like the wet glues. But yeah, it depends on the kind of the mood I'm in as to which glue I have. But the Fabri-Tac, I just use that. If there's fabric involved, that's a great glue to use. Because it gets all into, I guess, the right places to hold things together. But I don't use the Fabri-Tac on paper. I know a lot of people use the Fabri-Tac on paper, but I don't because I feel like that glue is special. I feel like it's a special glue. And it costs just a tidbit more. So I just use that one on the fabric only. So I've actually had my Fabri-Tac glue for a really long time. Yeah, Penny, it's been 10 years. Do you all know where you were at when you heard about Michael Jackson? That would be interesting. Where were you when you heard that Michael Jackson had passed on? I remember where I was at. I want to hear first where you all were at. Okay. Magical. I don't even know where I'm at on time for today. Let's look and see. Oh, yeah, we getting up there. I'm gonna have to show you. I think I'm gonna do one more tag, and then we'll do kind of a little bit of a review. Because I'm not doing tags tomorrow. I might do finish these up offline, but I'm gonna do something different tomorrow. I get bored when I do the same thing too many days. Y'all probably get bored with me doing the same thing too many days in a row. Like I did tags for like 4 or 5 days last time, trying to finish those other tags. It was ridiculous. So where were you all at when you heard about Michael Jackson? I have to wait because there's a delay. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear as I work on this tag that I'm not really thinking that much about. She's just doing. Oh, that's kind of cool, Paula. Anybody else want to chime in where you were at when Michael Jackson died? I know some people still have bad feelings about Michael Jackson. Crazy Boy 63. You only heard about Michael Jackson last year? Is that what you're talking about? Because that's impossible. Because it's been 10 years. All right. Let's rub this in. Then after this one, I'm going to do one more. Oh, you're 10 years old. Oh, you were just a baby. Michael Jackson passed away. You were at work. Did they go crazy at your job? Sometimes at jobs it's like mass hysteria when things happen. And that's just like the perfect word for it too. Like a mass hysteria type of thing. I'm going to tell y'all where I was at. I remember very clearly. Me and my boyfriend went on at the time, we went on a cruise. One of the 2 cruises that I've been on. Okay, you know what? I'm going to end that there because I'm going to have to change my threads again. So let me get this out the way. And he's a night owl. He likes to watch the news. So he was up watching the news at 3 o'clock in the morning. We were somewhere in the Mediterranean on a cruise. I was asleep. And he woke me up and told me that Michael Jackson had passed away. So it was like 3 o'clock in the morning when we were on a cruise. But it didn't really affect the cruise because I don't think people were really paying attention to the news that much. So, all right. So I'm going to go over what I did here in case you all didn't see yesterday's. So what I did was, let me just take one of these. All right. So I know I keep saying so. Okay. So I took some cards and I made copies of them because I didn't want to use like the original cards. And I wanted to have them for later to use. So I scanned them and I put them on some cardstock. And these will be available for free download over on the Patreon page. So if you're interested, you can check that out. The Patreon page is below. It's Liz for a Day. The link's there. And so I cut these. I actually still have some left over here that I cut. And you can actually write on the back of these. I believe he was awesome too. And then I took some paper, some aged paper. So it was a full sheet of aged paper, and I made the tags. I used my We Are Memory Keepers tag maker just to cut this part here because I can never get that part even. And then I glued them on here. I used a glue stick. In this case, I wasn't worried about it lifting up on the edges or anything. So that's one thing you have to worry about with using the glue stick. And then I cut these. You all saw me cut around these. And it's easier, in my opinion, to do it this way, to put it on the paper, glue it on the paper, and then cut it, than to try to cut it and then glue it on. It's just, for me, it's like a fiasco. And then, so this is what you have after it's cut. So isn't that pretty? And so I took some book pages and I just ripped them by hand. And I went around that with the vintage photo. I went around this with the vintage photo. This is my playing card. I went around that. And of course I cut these out as well. These are digital kit and I cut those. And then you all saw me sew them. And the sewing on this one is really wacky. And so I sewed them in different ways. So we'll look at these. What I'm going to do though before I go is I want to put some vintage photo on the back too, on the edges. So I'm going to do that real quick. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to put a hole up here at the top or not. I think I'm just going to leave them just like this for now. So this makes a difference when you put the vintage photo around. Let's show. You know, no matter what people think, there is just like, there's no question that Michael Jackson put out, like, his music was kind of, I was talking to my mom about that. I think his music was kind of like beyond him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I can explain it. Like, it's like an out of body type of thing. Like his music, even though he made it and everything, it's like it stands alone even without him. And his music was just amazing. I remember when he did Thriller. I was a kid when Thriller came out. And man, he came on MTV, which was new at that time as well, because cable TV was just getting going, and MTV was like the channel to watch because they had all these music videos. And man, and Thriller came on, and then he did Beat It as well. It was like what he was doing was like unheard of because it was like a mini movie. So his music was just awesome. For sure. His music was awesome. And of course, I knew all the words to it. I had a friend, and my friend, he actually had cerebral palsy. And when he was at work, he would let me like listen to his stereo. He just said, just make sure you put all the records back in the jackets. And, you know, that was record player time then. He had like all the good albums and the 45s and stuff like that. And he would let me listen to them, and I would take good care of him. I would put the headphones on, and I would listen to it really loud and until he got home, because he stayed like upstairs from his mother or whatever. So it wasn't like I was just at his house and, you know, unsupervised or anything. And I would just listen to his music for hours. And I really developed a love for Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's one of my favorite groups. We probably are about the same age, Penny. Oh, I see you used that @ sign. That was my little tip today. If you guys missed it in the beginning, if you use the @ sign before somebody's name, if you're talking to them in a chat, it will highlight for them so that you can see. So they'll see it highlighted, especially if there's a chat that's going really fast. Ours is going relatively slow, but it definitely highlights, and you can. Like Penny did, she put the @ in before my name, and it highlighted for me. Nobody else can see the highlight but me. They can see it, but it doesn't highlight, it doesn't stand out. Lisa says she thinks Michael Jackson had a tortured soul. I think that too. Oh, I definitely think that. He had a tortured soul. Michael Jackson. I remember when the Jackson 5 had a cartoon on Saturday mornings too. That was pretty cool. Michael actually was just a little bit older than me. Oh, your favorite song is Thriller? I don't think I have a favorite song. It's like whatever I'm in the mood for. He did like I think I've been looking for it, but I can't find it. It's like the Moonwalker videos. It was on VHS, and I love that. I love that it was a compilation of one of his albums. That I think it was just one of his albums, and it had a Smooth Criminal on it as well. Ooh, look how those look. Isn't that pretty? So that's the front and back. Okay, so let's look at the front and the back. Yep, Jackson 5 cartoons. He did have some pretty good messages, like the man in the mirror. His music will transcend him. Yep, Paula, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hey, Katya. Okay, so we're gonna look at the ones that we completed, because they never look like much until you like put everything together. So here's one. Dirty Diana, the Beatles song, Come Together. Yeah, he did a lot of samples in his songs, but most of them were original. Most of the songs were original. It's like even you know what? It's amazing because, oh, and that's what the back looks like. Even the little kids now, they know who Michael Jackson is and they love his music and they want to be Michael Jackson. They just don't know. They probably don't want to be him, but but his music was a lot of fun. I remember one Halloween, because what I do on Halloween, I'll get dressed up, but I don't go anywhere. I just sit outside in a chair with my I'll put a little candle out beside me, to set the mood in the driveway with my candy, and I will put like a music box out there. Or I'll play music off my telephone. I will have just a playlist of Michael Jackson. That's it, because that's what the kids wanted to hear. They would love it. They love hearing Michael Jackson songs. So yeah, the words are amazing. I like them. You could definitely do these yourself, but shameless plug. If you don't want to do the words yourself, there are a digital download in the shop. So look at that. Those are very, very nice. I agree with you, Paula. I agree. So you all, I am going to head off of here because I have some other things that I need to get done today. I want to thank everybody that came on with me today. I want to thank all those lurkers. Lurkers sound bad, but it's not. I love my lurkers as well. Please make sure you all give this video a thumbs up before you leave. I would really appreciate it. And if you do love junk journal stuff and you just happen on the channel, go ahead and hit the subscription button, because you're going to like the stuff that we put out. Plus, we just like hanging with each other, and I invite you to join us as well. You are very welcome, Katya. Thank you all for hanging with me, because you all really inspire me to come on every day, and I really appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and shove off. So with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease from your sweet lotus blossom and lovable Lizzie. Have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.